right, for the second strategy we're talking about today, it's the gradual release of responsibility. And just like the lecture, it's kind of one that as teachers in general we're a little intuitive about. We are familiar with this idea. Some of the other strategies that we'll learn later in this class might be something you haven't seen before. There's a lot of really cool things. These things you've seen, like you've seen a teacher show you how to do something and then do it with you, and then have people work together, do it together. And then, all right, now you're ready that you've kind of been guided along the way to do it on your own. So that's that gradual release of responsibility concept. We get that. But, kind of keep in mind, this is just the first class, and you might be like, oh, I already know these things. Just like any professional development or any class you take or any conference you might attend, it's good to have reminders even of things that maybe you already know. So a lot of times when we're teaching, we get caught up in the moment. The kids are crazy, they're awesome, but they're crazy. The other teachers are crazy, they're awesome usually, but they're also crazy. There's just a lot going on all the time, and it's easy to let little things slide here and there, and then all of a sudden something that you thought you're doing well, when you reflect on it at a conference or in a class or at a PD session, you're like, oh yeah, I knew that that's best practice. Oh yeah, I knew that little tip or that little trick, but you're not always practicing it, you're not always doing it. Again, for just whatever reason, sometimes we don't do the things that we know we should be doing. So having the reminders, reading things, professional development, attending PD, conferences, classes, it's always good to have reminders about what is the best way to do it, because if you're just doing it part way and it's not really following all the research-based like tips and tricks, then you might be doing it but not well. So something to keep in mind. All right, so the other thing is that, yes, I could just tell you this because I'm standing right here in the room next to you, but I'm also going to be kind of incorporating how I use technology in the classroom to do some of these strategies. So no, I didn't need to record this part necessarily, but I wanted to show you how I use Camtasia to record myself. I do this, and a lot of teachers do this for a multitude of reasons. One is like if I'm doing something step by step like this, like I'm going to show you how to create a mandala. If a student were to follow this lesson, they could stop it, pause it, rewind it, watch it again. It's something that they obviously can't do if you're just lecturing in real time. If you have a student that's absent, someone who needs repeated directions, that might be a case where having the video is really handy. Some classrooms nowadays are flipped, so instead of lecturing in class, the teacher records the lecture and has that portion be the homework. So we have a couple math classes like this, for example. And then in class, they actually do the homework or the practice problems together, and the teacher's then available for help if the kid gets stuck. I run my linked class like this. I'll do the lectures at home, and then in class we do an activity or we do something that kind of goes on from that. Yeah, you always have a couple kids who don't watch the lecture, and then I usually have them do it during class, so they miss some of the activity. And then the file's accessible. It's accessible to everybody. So if there's ever a question or ever like, what's the kid supposed to study? How are they supposed to know what to do? If it's all in video, it's really not, nothing else that you can do more to provide access, I guess, to the curriculum. So just something to think about, and that's why I'll be continuing to incorporate some technology in as we're doing this, just so that you're aware what's out there.